Hey, I'm Kev Kermist, and welcome to my final look at the WRC 3 demo. In this one, we're looking at single stage.
Select one of the three official WRC categories. Use the tips for details of each category. All the cars available for the event can be found here. For the details of each car, just have a look at the tips.
So let's look at the tips. The Citroen DS3, the reigning champions of Sebastian Loeb and Daniel Eleanor, a great car, and not much different from the Ford Fiesta RS, which we saw in yesterday's video in the Road to Glory. As we saw the details there, let's go and look and pick a rally.
Choose one of the 13 official rallies from the championship. Put yourself to the test on the real WRC terrains and face off against the champions of rally.
Now, you can only pick from the Spanish rally in the demo, but look at all of these, the classics: Monaco, Sweden, the newer Mexico and Portuguese rallies, Rally Argentina, the endurance rally, the longest rally on the calendar this year, the hard Acropolis rally, and the speed of Rally Finland, the fastest rally on the calendar. And you also got Wales Rally GB, which just happened at the weekend. Well done to Ford and Jari-Matti, that film winning that. You got an Italian rally, but as I said, you can only choose the Spanish rally here, and you got 6 stages, but you can only choose one in the demo. And nice length of stages, I think, around higher end of 3k towards 4k, with the super special rally, of course, which is around 1k. So as we get ready, let's hear the Spanish intro.
The magnificent valleys of Catalonia are the principal setting for the traditional Spanish event. The courses are mostly on tarmac, but the numerous excursions onto unpaved ground require a great capacity for adaptation from drivers.
Oh, we got to adapt here. It's half tarmac, half gravel this stage, and it's a long stage, almost 6k kilometers. So you really got to be pedal to the metal for up to 5 minutes or 4.5 minutes in this case, as we get ready to load the stage. And here we are at the start line in the Citroen. Looks nice, a nice little presentation here. As we get going, I want to get into the second part of my video, which is impressions of the demo. I've got my bullet points here, just like my F1 2012 demo, this impressions list, where I'm going to go through 10 bullet points and point out what I think of them. And the first one is, of course, handling and physics, one of the main parts of this game. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised by the physics in this game. I thought it'd be a bit more arcadey, a bit more like dirt, but this, they've really tried. They've really got to get a feel of the car. You really got to adjust, got to learn, and it took me about 20-30 runs through this stage before I could get to the end, really, and in quite a fast time. So you really got to get a handling of the physics and the handling of the cars, and I really do quite like the handling as we hit the barrier there, go a bit wide, and you really got to learn how to use the handbrakes, how to brake properly. That was one of the concerns I had earlier when I was braking too hard and the car pulls to the left or right, and so you're going head on into a wall with no chance of saving the car. But I've adjusted my driving style where I really just tap the brakes. That's really what you got to do, tap it and then use the handbrake, like in that case. So it did take quite adjusting to get used to the handling and the physics, and I've been personally surprised by them. Second point, graphics. Saw the nice presentation still at the beginning, and the Citroen did look very nice on the start line. As you saw on the Road to Glory video yesterday, the graphics do look very nice, and look at the terrain. Looks normal, doesn't it? It looks much better than it did in the previous 2 WRC games from Milestone. They really have tried, they really have adjusted their way of making this game. They actually went to rallies, they took photos, they measured stages, they really learnt about the stages and really changed their way of making this game. And I have to say, it looks very nice, doesn't it? It really does look like the Spanish rally. It looks like a Spanish climber, and you got those tight tarmac roads, and you got the gravel as well. And going back to handing, the car did feel very nice on the gravel, less so on the tarmac, but it wasn't too grippy. It was just about right in the tarmac, where you're on the edge of spinning out if you hit the brakes too hard or pull the handbrake too hard. So I really did like the handling on both surfaces, I have to say. And back to the graphics, so you can see it looks very nice. You've got nice crowd in the background there as well. They do move a bit. Don't really seem that fast that 100-mile-per-hour rally cars going past, but you know, you would just be stood in amazement. Well, I would be stood in amazement if rally cars going past me at that speed. And game modes, there's the new Road to Glory. That looks very interesting. Looks almost dirt-like. I don't want to say dirt-like, but it borrows elements from it, especially that crash and run. Reminds me of the smashing blocks in Gymkhana in Dirt 3. So, and I have to say that's probably a nice feature they added to appeal to more of an audience instead of just having normal rallies and normal things. Just putting some variety into the game, putting something different, and I do like that they are trying something different. And as I said, they really have overhauled the way they've made the game for this version mods don't have. So, and I can't really judge any more game modes because, well, this is single stage. I can't really judge a rally event or how that's going to go. So yeah, Road to Glory looks very interesting. Looks like it will appeal to more people and will help them appeal to more people with this game. As we finished the rally stage and we came third, and I have to say I did mess up the end bit of that after we went off the gravel and the second part of this tarmac stage, and I really did mess it up and lose lots of times to the AI. So let's move on to the replay cameras as we were watching the replay. There's a nice variety of replay cameras. There's, I think, almost 10 different ways to view as we're on the staple of WRC coverage, the bonnet cam and the front fender cam, and you really do get the sense of speed in the car from these angles. And I do like the variety in replay cams. It really will help, if I do get this game, really will help the editing, really showing the speed, where I can show a variety of angles and you can really see lots from the different stages. You can see looking at the sides, looking at the wheels here, doing their work, doing their magic, and going a bit wide there. I don't advise you to take that line, but it actually is a bit faster than trying to make the corner before the hairpin. Sorry, so that's what I found anyway. So I really do like the replay cam. Look at this front on. Oh, into the barrier. We've dented it a bit, and that goes on to my next point. Damage. They really did overhaul the damage as well. They've made a new damage model for the game, and I quite like it. I quite like it from the demo. You really do see the environment damage when you hit a wall, hit a barrier. The barrier bends back. It shows that it's been touched by a WRC car. And I've had it with the car where I've hit a wall and then I've had my brakes go. My co-driver says the brakes go. I've had to be cautious. I've had to kind of coast around corners and not really use the brakes, and that's what I quite like. I do quite like the damage model from the demo. I'm sure it's more extensive in the real game, but from the demo I do quite like that they put a bit of the damage in, and it seems to have worked their overhaul of the system. So next presentation, as you saw, a nice little shot at the beginning of stages before you set off, and the menus haven't really changed from the previous two titles. I haven't played the previous two titles, but that's what I've seen. And what can you say? It's a nice presentation. It just looks nice, and they're really feeling confident of each game. And as I said, they've overhauled the way they're making this game, and they really are building it up. And it's just a nice looking game. I will say that, this one. And then that leads me to whether this demo succeeded. My final point: did this demo succeed in building my anticipation, and I have to say, it did. I was mildly surprised with the demo by the handling, by the Road to Glory. A game feature looks a bit interesting, a bit different from the normal just driving on stages, and the graphics, the way they've made the road. They actually visited rallies. They visited Monaco. They said that in their first development diary. They visited Monaco, took photos, measured, just looked at the environments, and they really changed the way they made this game. And I have to say, it looks like they've succeeded in making a good rally game, one that might appeal more than the previous two have, where they really were a bit blind on how to make it all, say, because they didn't visit rallies, they didn't know what rallies, they were just looking at videos. And now that they've visited rallies, now that they've changed models, now that they've really got used to making this game, got used to hanging, got an overhaul of how they're gonna make it, I have to say, looks like I've made a nice rally game based on the demo. The only problem I have with the demo, bit short. It's less than 10 minutes of gameplay. I would have liked to seen another single stage, especially Rally's Race GB, which just went by this past weekend, could have included one of those stages. But I have to say, demo does help whet the appetite. Will I get the game? Depending on money, I probably will, and I'll be making videos, of course, on my channel. And you'll see the career of Kev Camelot again in WRC 3. Just a final point before I go. The AI, I'm on hardest difficulty here, and you can see nice competitive times, and it is a nice challenge, and I'm still not the fastest here, but I'll be back tomorrow, so till then, cheerio.